Okay, let's do it. Last night, um, let's start with last night. Last night we did a raise-a-thon, and it was unbelievable hatzlacha. It's unbelievable. Now, I was thinking before Shabbat that the truth is that according to Kabbalah, you shouldn't be doing tzedakah by night. So there was a beautiful talk. Yeah, there's a beautiful talk from the Rebbe about this, and I want to review this. So first, turn the page to the other side. Uh, Here, I have copies. Yeah, sure, I have plenty of copies. Yeah, I have. Um, Before we start, I want to say a big thank you to Kollel Baruch Hu, because there's someone that's sitting here that was not feeling well, Reb Daniel, and Baruch Hashem, we see you sitting with us, and you should be gesund. La'oidech yomim v'shonim tovos. You shouldn't know you shouldn't know from doctors and medicines, emergency rooms. All you should know is from Lekach and Lechayim and Gemara Rashi Tosfos and Lakutei Torah and Lakutei Sichos.
Amen. Also, Rabbi, can you do the shir also for Rifashim for Roni?
1 second, I'll write it down.
My brother.
Refuah Shelema for
Roni Ben Seli.
Roni Ben
Seli.
Okay.
And also my grandson in Israel, Yitzchak Eliyahu
Yitzchak
Eliyahu
Eliyahu
Ben Nechama.
Ben Chama. Okay.
I think his yard site is coming up. Shoshana Bas. Shoshana
Okay.
Star.
Let's wait till it comes up. Roni Baseli Sher Refuah Shlema Yitzchak Eliyahu Ben Chama Sher Refuah Shlema. Okay. Look in the Birkei Yosef in the Chidah. Arv is Zman Din Gomur. At night is Zman Din. It's not a time here. It's not a time to give tzedakah. Of Gure Arizal. The students of the Ari wrote this. Because of Arab Makubal, Rabbi Yaakov Tzemach, Ratzalem Elitin tzedakah mehakavona ma'usay chama niska b'tzedakah shel shachar yisu mincha. That there is a thing of giving tzedakah before shachar is before mincha, and that. V'tzedakah b'chol eis mayelos, avaloi b'chol azman b'chol atikunim shonim atkan l'shena from Rabbi Yaakov Tzemach. V'yishal mishkol in Perek Hey Alochet Zayin Amru Reb Chanina Ba'Papa have a maflug mitzvah b'leila. That Reb Chananya Ba'Papa, you know, that Papa had 10 sons, right? When we make a scene, we talk about his 10 sons, his wonderful sons that were all Talmidei Chachamim. So he was giving tzedakah by night. Poga Chatzman Poga Bei Rabban Duruchata. That the Rebbe of all the bad spirits met him. I guess the bad spirits also have a Rebbe. Amar Loi. In Hebrew, when you say Rabban, you just mean the big boss. Amar Loi. So the Rebbe of the Rucha said, Loi Kedin, Alfon Rebbe, Loi Tase Gevul Reyacha. Isn't the din that you, Rebbe, teach to your students a pasuk in the Torah that you're not allowed to do asagat gevul, means you're not allowed to steal from someone's property? So you're stealing from my property. Why? Because by night you shouldn't be giving tzedakah. Amar Loi. So Reb Chanina Papa said, "V'loi kedeng ksiv matam b'seisa ich ba'av." That a person gives quietly tzedakah, that takes away the biggest anger in heaven. So, v'hava mistafimine, but still, the Gemara says that Chanan Papa got scared because he realized that this guy has bad intentions, the Rebbe from the bad spirits. V'orak min kumoi, and he ran away. Okay. From this story in the Yeshama, we have a proof. So, the Chida, who was brilliant, who knew the Bavli Yeshami called, found a story in the Gemara Yerushalmi that supports what Rabbi Yaakov Tzemach said in the name of the Rizal. The Rabba and the Ruchos, the Kollel the Chanina Ba'Papa, the Laila's man din gama b'lavlai l'chalet tzedakah. Beishiva the Miyoshu's man din at tzedakah b'cholais pe'elus t'ir matlas esiyach v'yich ba'av. Ma'arev Rebbe Eliyahu Pirush l'Yerushalmi Pirush Damashika Amar Loi Loi Tasik Gvul Reach Ha'ena Shalach Ashahoya Hoylech b'chutzas u'b'laylos manam l'lechtes b'chutzas u'b'gvulam. There is a commentary who says, no, the problem wasn't that he was giving tzedakah. The problem was that he was walking in the night at night, and you're not supposed to walk alone at night because the bad guys are out there. Omnam Leah had yet needed. The Chidah says, it seems to me the mashkos of like tasik. Heinal shoyin noisens doka. That's doka balayla. He shlita sadin ve'netzedekes from the words of the evil angel that said you're taking away from gevul. What do you mean take masik gevul? If he was out by night, he should have said, "What are you doing out by now? Go home." From the words you're being masik gevul, it sounds like no, because the night is mandin, and you shouldn't be giving tzedakah. Ve'yeshiva the makom mechalais me'alis. So there was once on a Motzah Shabbos where the Rebbe did. The Rebbe used to do a makbit. He used to raise money. I met someone the other about unbelievable 770. It was a few months ago, and the guy gave me an envelope that he found in someone's attic in a box with the Rebbe's handwriting to my father. That my father wrote it, took an envelope, stuffed some cash in, talking about something in the 60s, and the Rebbe wrote like nitkabel v'tshuvatchein. I got it, thank you. Anyway, it's funny, so I gave it to my father. Anyway, the Rebbe at that time gave a comprehensive talk about this. The Rebbe said 3 points. Number one, the pasuk says, we just had it in the Chumash, you're not allowed to harden your heart when a poor man asks you for something. So if a poor man knocks on your door at night, it's forbidden to say, I'm sorry.
Nighttime.
It's nighttime. The story in the Gemara was that he was looking for a poor man. He was walking around. So but had it been that an Oni came to his door and knocked, that wouldn't have been an issue. That's number one. And the Rebbe says it's a befedische Gemara in Sanhedrin, and it's brought in Shulchan Aruch. The Gemara says, "Kol tainus shemalinum v'etzatzedakah kilu shav chodamim." If there is a fast day and they didn't give tzedakah, Rashi says, in the olden days, that in a fast they used to collect a lot of money, and the poor people, even though they were starving, they were very happy because they knew at the end of the fast, the Gabbai tzedakah is going to come around and give them money, and they'll be able to buy groceries, they'll be able to buy food, and that's a big mitzvah. There couldn't be a bigger mitzvah than that. So if the people the beggars are waiting for the food and it's not brought to them, so it's a terrible thing. So we see here, Befeidish Gemara, that when the poor people are expecting, you're obligated to give it to them. So that's point number one. Point number two is that Shulchan Aruch says a din, the Gemara says in Baba Basar, Rebbe Lezer, Yoav Pruta Lahani V'Adar Matzli. You have to give tzedakah. Why? Because the pasuk says, "Ani b'tzedek echze panecha." When tzedek means tzedakah, when I do tzedakah, then echze panecha, I'll come see Hashem's face. So the question is, the Shulchan Aruch never says a difference between Shachris and Mincha Ma'ariv. And in a way, you would think it's the other way around. In the Pri Eitz Chaim, Reb Chaim Vital asked, why is it that we say Shema before the Tefillah in Shachris and in Arvis and not in Mincha? So the answer is very simple. Because Mincha is part of the same day. So the Shema, you said, Shachris, still, but Arvit is the next day. It's tomorrow, right? So it's a new day, you have to say Shema again. So we see, so don't tell me, says the Rebbe, that a person gave tzedakah before Shachris, he gave before Mincha. So that's good enough, is Arvit? No, because we see for Shema, it's the other way around. So what a person could answer, that when someone is in such level like that, Izal, and he gives tzedakah by mincha, that has a power to last into the night. But me and you, regular people, perhaps the idea of that Izal doesn't apply, and that we should give tzedakah before the night. The thing is that it became a thing by Klal Yisrael that you give tzedakah before Shachris, before mincha, and you don't give before Ma'ariv. And however, we saw in the Chabad Rebbe's that they used to make a makbit by night. And there's a famous story in 1920 that the Soviets came in and the Rebbe Rashab was on Purim, and it was forbidden to collect money. He said, leave the pushka on the table and people should put in, and it was a miracle. So we see that, so the Rebbe says, the third answer the Rebbe says is simple. You give tzedakah to a Gabbai tzedakah, especially if you trust the Gabbai tzedakah. So perhaps then the Gabbai tzedakah says, right now the money is not tzedakah. Tomorrow I'm going to declare this money tzedakah. You trust the Gabbai tzedakah. and you give him the money and you tell him, you trust him and he'll take care of it. So he could make a tanai on the money that the money is going to be tzedakah tomorrow morning. So therefore, it's not considered as giving tzedakah by night. And Chabad Rebbe's for sure, the Chassidim trusted them. So when they gave tzedakah by night, so they had in mind the Rebbe's that it's tomorrow. The Rebbe doesn't finish it, but obviously, so why did they do it by night? Why couldn't they wait the next morning? Because the inspiration was there. The inspiration was there by night. Everyone was sitting together. That's the inspiration.
Also, people come from work and get together. But
now
shedding wasn't that time. Nowadays, we're not shedding.
No, but that is brought it, and the Chidah brings it.
Yeah.
And the Chidah brings it. Yeah. So therefore, I would go back to the idea of the raise-a-thon. First, so a lot if you make an event like we made last night, no one gave money yet, and even if a person gave money, he gave it to the Gabbai Tzedakah, so it's just as good as what you just said. The question would be, if people actually give by night and it clears right away. So again, you could say the Gabbai Tzedakah knows that he makes a tanai that the tzedakah is going to apply for the next day.
But this is tzedakah for sure. It's not tzedakah for one.
For only, you could also say that. It's very good. It's a very good thing. You could say it's different. But you could ask, sometimes they make an emergency fund. But then you could say the answer is that there's emergency. The person needs it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's leave it at that.
Does that to do with something with the Tehillim when some people don't read Tehillim at nighttime?
It's similar to that. That's also from that Izal. It's exactly also from that Izal. It has to do with Laila being thin. And Torah Shabbat is Chesed. It's a similar thing. It's a similar.
So the mitzvah that you're giving tzedakah doesn't take effect. So you give it takes effect.
Tomorrow morning, if the Gabbai Tzedakah will make that condition. Yeah.
So generally speaking, you can give by night or no? There's no conditions.
Whatever, one of the three answers. Either if the poor person needs, obviously you have to give him right now. Or the second thing, you could say that is meant only for him. Or the third answer is you give it to Gabbai Tzedakah, and he has in mind that it should become tzedakah next morning.
In your own personal push box for, let's say,
A pushka box is not becoming right away tzedakah. You're giving it to Gabbai Tzedakah.
What about this? Could the food or anything considered tzedakah?
Yeah, food. Obviously, we're giving someone food. They need the food.
It's better.
I know.
So it sounds like he was looking for someone to give him money. Okay.
Let's say you want to read Chumash or night or Tehillim.
Let's talk about the Chumash Tehillim another time. Let's talk about the other question. This week in the Parsha, it talks about a person who's not allowed to marry a Jewish girl. Turn the page. He's not allowed to marry a Jewish girl because he's Pitzua Dacha. Pitzua Dacha means that his beitzim are Rahman al damaged, and he's not allowed to marry. So there's a big discussion about how you spell the word Dacha, with the aleph or a hey. So why am I talking about this now? First of all, it's this week's parsha. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. But there was someone in shul that he was very excited. The Chabad writes it with the aleph, so he made a mug with a shot of the parsha, and he put out Pitzua Dacha with the aleph popping out. So and he was drinking coffee in the morning, and he got married, and Bezivuk Sheni, his wife, all their children went to Litvish yeshivas. They're all considered the Rosh Yeshivas today in Lakewood. So Hungarian turned Litvish. So the kids came and they said, "What are you talking? You have Yutke Bovke. You're not allowed to use such a mug." So anyway. That's a separate shaila, but the question is what happened was that the Alter Rebbe decided one day, like many things that we thought. One day the Alter Rebbe said, he called the Sefer, he said, bring the Sefer Torah out of the Aron, and he said, please change the Dacha from a Hey to a Aleph. I was like, wow. So, firstly, why am I telling the story now? Last night I told the story about Prague, about the Altneu Shul in Prague and the Goyim. Not repeating the story. It was a nice story, huh? Unbelievable. So the The Frierdiker Rebbe says that in the year Tov Reish Samaches, he was with his father in Prague, and he bribed the Shamish to bring out. There's a Sefer Torah that the Maharal believed was checked by Ezra HaSofer.
Wow.
And he bribed the Shamish to take it out of the Aron Kodesh. He came to the parish of Kitetse, and he wanted to check, and Pitzua Dacha was written with the Aleph. And then he said that they traveled to the city of Worms. The city of Worms, which was once Ir Ve'em B'Yisrael, Rashi had his yeshiva in the city of Worms. And Rashi was born, according to the legend, in the city of Worms. And they have a Sefer Torah there also, an ancient Sefer Torah that they believed belonged to the Maram of Rothenburg. Maram of Rothenburg is the father, I would say, the father of all Ashkenazim, father meaning Kollel Yisrael, just like you would say, maybe the Bet Yosef is the father, or you'd say the Rambam and the Rif of all Psak for Sfardim. You'd say the Maram of Rothenburg is really the father of all Poskim of Ashkenazim. Maram Rothenburg was imprisoned in Ansesheim by the king of Germany, and he refused that the Jews should ransom him. He spoke about it 2 years ago unfortunately, when the Eden Wars, they should go out, all the Jews that are still sitting in Rahman al-Islam in captivity. We spoke about it then. Anyway, he languished in prison for many years.
He died.
And he died in prison, and his body stayed in prison for 11 years. So the story was, Frierdiker writes the story that there is the Bet Yosef always quotes Sefer Tashbetz, which is a student of the Maram that had permission to come to the jail to visit him. He would come every day, and he would ask him questions, and he would write the answers. That's Shuvas Tashbetz, is 2 or 3 volumes, and the Bet Yosef quotes it all the time because it's from the Maram. So the Maram wanted to have a Sefer Torah. So they, whenever he would bring him food, or he would always bring it wrapped up in like in a leather, as if it was a leather package. And then the Maram would straighten it out, and he would write the Sefer Torah. When he finished writing Sefer Torah, he had Gidim, he sewed it together, and he had his own Sefer Torah, the Maram. This is the story, the way the Frierdiker Rebbe writes it. When he thought that his days were numbered, he took a box, and he put the Sefer Torah in the box. He covered the box. He knocked a few nails into it, and he bribed the guard to put it on the Rhine, to put the box on the river, on the Rhine River. And the box was floating on the Rhine River until it came down. You know, a lot of Germany is built on the Rhine, and like all good European cities. And funny thing, you see a lot of old pictures of Yerushalayim in Eastern Europe, like showing like the Geula, and you see Yerushalayim, and there's like a little river going through the city. Because in the mind of Europeans, every city has a river going in the middle of the city. There is no river going through Yerushalayim, but they had no idea.
Well, they say when Mashiach comes,
Maybe they had Kavanah. Okay.
Waiting for the Mashiach.
I think they were Europeans. They didn't know what it, Anyway, but thank you for the limit school. The Jews and the fishermen in the city of Worms see that there's a box floating, and the Goyim tried to get the box, and whenever they tried to get close to the box miraculously moved further away. So they called the Galach, and the Galach came with a cross, and he that nothing helped. Nothing helped. So the Jews said, "Would you let us try?" They said, "Okay, we give up. We'll let you try." The Jews, 3 fishermen got on a boat, and as soon as they got close to the box moved straight towards them. They picked up the box, and they took it in the boat, and when they came ashore, they opened it up, and they saw Sefer Torah. The governor of the city of Worms at that time, every city in Germany was its own kingdom. So you'd go down the Rhine, you'd pay taxes. By the time you got to the bottom of the Rhine, you were poor. So the governor of Worms said, "Okay, you can keep the Torah, but I want the box." The Jews gave him the box, and it was like a miraculous box. Whenever he'd go out to battle, he would take the box with him,
Wow.
and he would always win the battle. And the Jews were very happy to have the Sefer Torah from the Maram. The Frierdiker Rebbe said that they kept it in worms, and they only read it once a year. And again, he bribed the Shamish. They opened it up, and they looked, and Pitzua Dacha was with an aleph.
That's what I don't know. Or
I
what
don't believe that story.
Okay?
Somebody cannot have children.
Wait,
They put the foot in Sarah, a box, something wrong.
Zefet mi befnim mi bachutz. Maybe he put Zefet mi befnim mi bachutz. Zefet, like Moshe Rabbeinu. Tar. Maybe he put in tar.
has to be. That's it.
Even so,
Okay? No. If you'd like, I'd like to read with you quickly the Shilas of Truvas Shadis Yehuda. The Alter Rebbe had a brother. His name was Reb Yehuda, and they were very close. He was an older brother. He was very humble, and he became a student of his younger brother. He was a Gaon Otzim, and there is a sefer called Shilas Truvas Shadis Yehuda.
You know, Rebbe, I just want to.
Yeah.
You say Alter Rebbe. I don't know.
The Alter Rebbe is the first Chabad
the
Rebbe.
first, okay.
The first Chabad Rebbe.
Means, okay.
Yeah,
That's all.
he was the Tanya.
right.
Okay.
Shilas of Truvas.
The actual that's the height.
Yeah.
Alatanya.
Yeah. So let's read it quickly. Shilas Truvas Shadis Yehuda. He writes like this: Pitzua Dacha kibalti merabenu hagoan ochi lichtav aleph b'tzoy v'lo hei v'ata ki Dacha behei uloshen akeva. When you write Dacha, it's an akeva kamoy raka Dacha lavoina zaka masha'enkin Dacha ba'aleph u'shem dover kamoy morem kodesh eshkem v'ez Dacha toshev enish ad Dacha. The guy and the Alter Rebbe is going to say that it doesn't make sense that Pitzua Dacha should be Loshen in the cave. Well, first of all, we're talking about a male. Well, it's not shayach by a female. But besides that, the word Pitzua is Zocher. So therefore, Dacha should be Zocher. V'gam yidua sh'Hashem shesoifei hei shubo b'loshen rabim al rabim mibnei odem nishmata hei. If it would have been it would have been something which is a hay, then when it would be Lashon Hara, the hay would go away. Kamoi, Zakim, so Lavoina Zakah, and then there's Zakim. When you say Lashon Hara, the hay gets lost. Rakois, Rakah turns into Rakois. Dakois, Dakah turns into Dakois. Dakois Shtufas Gadam. Ubeloshen Dakah, Gam Beloshen Rabim. Bo ba'alef, kamoy lahakis leiv nidikoim, v'dak a leiv. So therefore, the Alter Rebbe thinks that it makes sense that it should be Pitzua Dacha with an aleph. Ela shenich b'tzarechim hashkosav leiv nishbar v'nitka behei lebesoif. Be'efshe she'ena mesherish Dacha. Ela mesherish doch. Dacha means split. Doch means poor, downtrodden. Like nishbar v'nitka doesn't mean that nishbar already means broken. Nitka means downtrodden. ובמשל שזה מצאנו גם כן כדיכסונו במוקם תנים שנשמתו על קופונים דאקה ודה ביאלף לכן ציווה רבנו להגיע ספר תורה שהויס התחיל הכוסו בהי וציווה לכתוב באלף דווקא. That the Alter Rebbe said they should change it and they should write it to dafka with aleph. So like I said, the Rebbe has a tshuva about this, and he found several Sefer Torah from Kollel Yisrael, including the Talmud of the Rashba, the Migdalois, who wrote a Sefer Torah, and it's in some museum now. And the Rebbe said that he looked at it, and you could see that he erased the hay and he put in an aleph instead.
Rabbi, I have a story with Pitzua Dacha with my family. When I went to
1 second, I just finish and tell the story. Bottom line is that old Chabad Torahs, they write Pitzua Dacha with an aleph. The question is, what happens if you go to different Gifim Bet Knesset? I think you have to remember what we just learned in the summer when we did about Apostle of Sefer Torah. Most of the Shonim hold that your Yotzei K'nisa Torah, even if the Sefer Torah is possible. We say L'chatchila, the Sefer Torah must be kosher. But if you're already read, we don't. We paskin and Shulchan Aruch. If you already read the Sefer Torah, so you're Yotzei. So if you find the Psul in Sefer Torah, we don't go back to read from the beginning. So I would just like to put it in context that a person doesn't have to come with the mug, with the big Pitzua Dacha.
But the mainstream writes it with a hey.
Yeah. Most Sfardim write it with the hey. There are some Sfardim that write it with the aleph. I'm not sure in Kehila Teman. It's a good question. I don't know. Chabad with the aleph.
Hamatz hey is feminine. With the hey is there.
The hey is feminine. The Alter Rebbe says
So it's a feminine or it's a masculine word? Do you have the rules?
who has beitzin, men or women? So it's men.
So why is there such an issue? We know the word. Why saying we know the word? We know
Because the Alter Rebbe saw that his Torah had it with the hey, and he said it didn't make sense to him, so he changed. It's an unbelievable thing that the Alter Rebbe didn't have access to any museums or any. He didn't have access to anything. Right. Then his grandson, a great grandson, went to Worms. He went to Prague. The Rebbe went to the museum. He found the Sefer Torah from the Shem Tam Goen, the student of the Rashba. But it's interesting. The Alter Rebbe didn't have access to any of that. It's similar to like the Hagos of the Gon, of the Gra. A lot of times, he didn't have access to all that we have, but he was brilliant and he had the Ruach HaKodesh. And
you have the rules of the Torah. Dig from Sefer Bereshit. Why need Rav?
Because
I believe that it's not only logic. I think people like the Alter Rebbe, they had an intuition that besides the logic, they had an intuition for truth. Okay, you want to tell the story about Pitzua Dacha?
In the 90s, I went to Yechidus with the Rebbe, my wife and myself, we went for about 45 minutes. And I wrote a bit of a lot of things. And my sister, she was in England for a lot of years, and then she came to Israel, and she was 27, 28 years old. She was in charge in Misrad HaChinuch, and all the American teachers, she was in charge. And she's a pretty girl, Yemenite skin, smart, dressed nice. So she told me, I'm getting engaged to this guy. So give me the name, I'm going to the Rebbe tomorrow. So I wrote a lot of things. And I wrote down, bracha, the Ruti, but this is a new pattern. I get it to the Rebbe, he looked at this, put it down. We spoke differently. Then he gave me brachot. He said, this, everything. He didn't say anything about my sister. I said, כבוד הרב, מה עם אחותי רותי? She did like this. Wow. Okay. I came home, telephone ringing. So Ruti, אני יודע. מה אתה יודע? What do you know? I said, I know that nothing happens. Said, how do you know? I said, the rabbis. They find out she had a list, what she wants. She wants somebody who was in the army officer. He had a business, Talmid Chacham, then Yeshiva. She has a list. The guy that you went out with, all this is
he fit the description.
But I find out that night that he wounded in the army and he cannot have children. It was Pitzua Dacha. That's exactly what he's saying. And the rabbi saw, he never saw me Yechidim. I went to Dala and this, but he never know my sister. You never know. And he saw it for the night. It's
Unbelievable.
She's married to a Belgian lawyer. She has kids, grandchildren. She's in Israel now.
Also, the Yom Tzvar, there's one word that Vayihi. I don't remember what parasha it is. Vayihi and Vayihu. One of the words.
That is different.
We write it different than.
There are a few words that there are issues. Yes. There are a few words.
It's not like it's
right. It's not. But Pitzua Dacha is not the only.
It's
not the only situation. Yeah, 100%. Okay. Atzlacha. We should have a great week. This week, Thursday, we're going to have a Fabrengen here, Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Elul, 12 days to Rosh Hashanah.
Wednesday night?
Huh?
Wednesday night?
We're Thursday night. You want to do it Wednesday night?
Well, Wednesday night becomes the 18th.
Uh-huh.
Elul is Thursday is the 18th. But
I know. The reason I was thinking because Thursday night, we already have this, like
but the children,
and it's like I figured.
So 9
o'clock. Let's do 9.
9 to 10.
You
No.
have a class today, right?
We have tonight. Yeah. On the Parsha.
Right.
Then we're doing it 8:45.
Is this a good Sudoku? I get this important.
Every year I say
Yes.
I
think yes.
Rabbi
I
Azar.
think yes.
okay,
You're not sure. Exact.
I can't tell you for sure. I think yes.
Oh, yes.
We want to redo it.
You said you are?
I watched it.
Daniel, are you
Yes, you watch?
are you
Yes.
good on the internet?
Can
Do
you-
you have
yeah.
contacts that you?
I'm a Kollel.
Not really.
I'm a
There is my
Last time we did a raise-a-thon and we asked everyone to open up and send to their contacts. But if you're not in that thing, so
Yeah.
okay, shkach everyone that